Yeah, so first and foremost, this is kind of a debate that we had amongst ourselves in our Eagles chat today about the starters playing in the final preseason game. Are you guys buying or selling that the Eagles should play their starters? Whoever wants to go first.
You can go, Morgan, with
Uh,
your little
all
mohawk.
right. Yeah, I just had to fix it quick in the washer. Gotta look at it. I didn't have my hat. I don't know what happened to it. But I think that any other year I'd be selling. I don't think that playing your starters, in preseason the game before the season starts, like I'm not for it. But after Jalen Hurts didn't play last game, you really haven't gotten any rhythm on that offense. I want to see it more for the offense than the defense. I think defense probably fine. Keep the starters off. You know what kind of they can do. But for the offense, man, rhythm was terrible. Couldn't get anything going at all. You need something just to have some confidence going in the season. So I think you keep them in for, I don't even know if it's going to be a quarter, but at least a couple of drives, just to get some rhythm, just to get something going. Because otherwise, you're kind of looking flat going in the season. It's not what you want. So I'm buying for sure.
Okay, what about you, Chris?
I'm selling that shit. Like I'm on eBay right now. It's not even to the highest bidder. As soon as someone puts a bid, I'm selling it because it's just like I get you want the rhythm and all this, but for the first time in a really long time, I can't remember when the Eagles have had joint practices with two different teams. Like especially who they're about to play in the preseason. Obviously, that's the thing, joint practice with the team that you're about to play. But Sirianni put so much emphasis on these joint practices. Like they play it like it's a legit game. So they're playing the ones in practice and they're playing it like a legit game. What's the point of sending out all those starters to play against guys that are about to be cut in a few days? Like you might get freaking these guys that are trying so hard to make the team that they make a mistake and end up injuring one of the other guys. Like it's just I get that there's only like and to talk to this guy for a minute. There's the one less game. Like it's 2017. They went 4-0. Obviously, the third game they played their starters. They played the half because that's the third game in the preseason. Then you have a couple weeks. It's different now with only 3 games. But I just think if Sirianni didn't put so much emphasis on these joint practices and all that stuff, I'd say okay, let them get a rhythm. But what rhythm is there to be had with timing and all this stuff? You're going to get really good timing now against CB4 and CB5, and not against CB1 or CB2. Like it's. I think that they did enough during joint practices. It's only been one day. I think they're going to do a lot this week in joint practices. Obviously, we have tomorrow and Thursday to get through and see if they actually need to, and we don't know who the Jets are going to play yet. But as of right now, if the Jets are just going to play the guys that are fighting for roster spots, it should be the same for the Eagles. Like they should be playing the guys that they don't know too much about, outside of the ones that just got shut out 35-0 last week, and see if they need to make a move because they're going to need to see who can play and who can't play. And people are going to be released to go down to 53-man roster by next Tuesday. And, and then you're going to have to look around the league to see who you're going to claim. I just think taking the opportunities away from these guys is to risk your own team, who a lot of them are coming off their own injuries from last year. So, like Brandon Brooks, why are you going to play him in a meaningless game? Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, like all these guys, like why are you playing these guys for no reason?
Yeah.
I agree with I completely agree with that. I'm gonna go with selling as well, just for the simple fact, and it says it right here. Duck, who's a regular on our podcast chat, all it does, it gives less of a chance on the bubble players. We need to figure out the Eagles' depth right now. We need to figure out who's gonna be behind who's gonna actually make the roster. And if you notice in the past couple of preseason games, the Eagles coaches are not taking this serious at all. But they, like Chris mentioned, they're going hard in these joint practices, and you notice by all the videos we're seeing, by everything we're hearing, when it comes to preseason, they're not doing.
Tackling. They are tackling.
Yeah.
They're the only people not tackling are the ones that are wearing red jerseys. Like they're still tackling.
I was gonna say they're not game planning. They're not going hard at all in this preseason. They're not really taking it serious. We've seen vanilla defense. We've seen the vanilla offense, yes. But I think what matters most right now is we know who the starters are. Everybody knows, it's not a secret. Jalen Hurts is the franchise quarterback right now. But we got to figure out who's wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. We got to figure out who's going to be, the running backs behind Miles Sanders. You got to figure out who's going to be your offensive line, backups. Like this all has to be figured out in this preseason finale come Friday. And like Chris mentioned as well, I mean, Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff is going extremely hard in these joint practices for a reason.
Mm. I mean, I went first, so I feel like you guys brought up a lot of good points after. But I'd say like the one thing that I will say for buying, I mean, you saw it last week. The Patriots played their starters for almost the entire first quarter. And I feel like that really was the time. I feel like there should have been more starter play. I don't know if that's, coaches feeling out what the other teams are going to be doing. I don't know if that's Sirianni himself not wanting to play the guys. I know there's probably a figuring out process with the new 3 games system, but I think just, you make a good point with all these bubble guys, but when it comes to the season, who are these guys going to be, catching the ball from? We need to see if J-Jaw can catch a ball from Jalen Hurts, not from Nick Mullins, right? So it is stuff like that, and I do understand getting hurt. I don't think you play all the starters. Like Brandon Brooks can sit. He can do. You don't need to bring in Lane Johnson. Kelsey can sit. Maybe have the second O-line. I think that's pretty deep. So the guys that are going to be fine. But for Hurts, I'd like to see play. Devontae Smith, maybe a couple snaps, maybe a series. Jalen Reagor, again, we talked about, maybe he's not really in rhythm. Those guys, like that extra game, even if it is, just against backups, the confidence, I think it could be very useful. But you pull them after a couple of series. I'm not saying, play your entire starting lineup for the first quarter, but I think some of them need to be on the field. Some of them need to have that rhythm.
But then there's a ripple effect there. Like if you don't play your starting offensive line, do you play Jalen Hurts? Like it's
risky.
Like we saw how much of turnstiles they were when it was with Flacco back there. I mean, Flacco wasn't doing himself any favors, but that backup offensive line is not very good right now. So, Jalen Hurts, like that's like we saw it with Sirianni. When Jalen Hurts wasn't playing, he pulled his whole starting offensive line out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we saw what happened. So, if you're saying, all right, guys, you could get another game of rest, but I'm going to let Jalen Hurts run around like they're like a madman. I don't know. If you're going to play Hurts, you should play the starting offensive line. But if you're going to sit the offensive line, then just sit Hurts again.
Let's not forget, there's 17 games this season. It's not.
Yeah.
That one game is actually it's a lot for them to deal with and to prepare for. Yeah, so they have a lot of work ahead of them to get into a rhythm.